Ethereum merge matters for everyone. The Ethereum merge is finally happening after several delays over the years. It is basically when the proof-of-stake beacon chain and the proof-of-work Ethereum mainnet combine. This event was originally known as Ethereum 2.0. Welcome to Crypto Inquiry, where we are dedicated to providing you, the investor, and the crypto curious with factual information and topics. Our goal is to keep you informed to make educated and timely decisions and remove the fog of hidden information. Nothing is meant as financial advice, and always do your own research before investing. Here we are building a community to help each other stay informed and make the most of our financial gains. The integration will boost the Ethereum blockchain's energy efficiency by about 99% and pave the way for further improvements that will make it quicker and more scalable. Theoretically, it is supposed to be fantastic for Ethereum, both the network and the asset. Nobody can anticipate if the price of Ether will truly change after the merging or if it will remain the same, since it has already been baked in. First, there's the energy issue. Since Ethereum will no longer support proof-of-work mining, we will be able to see the hash rate of the Ethereum network fall to zero immediately. According to Bitcoiners like Dan Held, this might increase public pressure on Bitcoin's high energy use. Additionally, it will remove Ethereum from the eyes of authorities who are focusing on energy-intensive proof-of-work blockchains, leaving only Bitcoin without Ethereum as a fellow offender. However, proponents of Bitcoin claim that proof-of-stake compromises network security. Additionally, a large number of Ethereum miners are dissatisfied with the merge since it would end mining and leave them with costly, useless equipment. Could they go to Bitcoin in its place? Second, there might be repercussions for currencies other than the top two, particularly dubbed Ethereum killers, like Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, and Polkadot. These other proof-of-stake cryptocurrencies should gain from a successful Ethereum merger, as one might anticipate. In fact, several of them had healthy gains recently, perhaps due in part to the hype around the merging. However, the converse is also feasible because several of these Ethereum rivals position themselves as greener versions of Ethereum. This aspect of Ethereum's value proposition is lost if proof-of-stake is implemented. While Ethereum developers believe that there won't be any big issues with the integration, misunderstandings around the event may increase the occurrences of con artists taking advantage of uninformed users. MicroStrategy files to sell up to $500 million of stock to buy more Bitcoin. On September 9, 2022, MicroStrategy Inc., aka one of the biggest corporate Bitcoin or BTC whales, submitted a new prospectus to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, in order to sell up to $500 million worth of stock. The money raised may be spent on additional Bitcoin. According to a filing made by MicroStrategy on Friday, Cohen & Co. and BTIG LLC will be the sales agents for the Class A shares. There was no set deadline for any prospective sales, and the software company emphasized that it planned to save all potential profits in order to buy more Bitcoin and advance its software business. The measure has long been anticipated since it is the first big indication that MicroStrategy's executive chairman, Michael Saylor, is dedicated to his bold goal to make the software business a crypto powerhouse. He's been buying around 130,000 BTC, or Bitcoin, worth over $2 billion since 2022, with money earned via stock and bond issues, and he's currently trying to buy more. The value of MicroStrategy has significantly correlated with the price of Bitcoin. The company has suffered cumulative losses of around $2 billion due to the current market downturn. However, the company was apparently in risk of losing approximately $1 billion when the price of Bitcoin fell below the 23,000 mark. But after the news of the stock sale, which would lower the value of existing shares, the shares rose 12% as Bitcoin rose about 10%, despite the stock falling approximately 1.5%. The Bitcoin King has stated that his organization would never sell its Bitcoin despite criticism from several experts about Michael Saylor's continual purchases of Bitcoin, some even going so far as to label Saylor as being reckless with portfolio management. He disclosed at the beginning of the month that software developers at the firm are working on ways to make it possible for lots of people to utilize the Lightning Network, a two-layer payment system built on top of Bitcoin. The Lightning Network aims to make Bitcoin transactions easier, quicker, and more affordable. Coinbase sues the U.S. Treasury. The lawsuit brought against the U.S. Treasury Department and other government figures over the move to apply sanctions on the cryptocurrency mixing tool has been funded by Coinbase. 6 Tornado Cash users have sued the Treasury Department, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, other government officials, and the Treasury Department over their decision to approve the cryptocurrency mixing tool back in August. Employees of Coinbase and other Ethereum users like Preston Van Loon are among the claimants. Preston claims that the punishment prevents him from accessing thousands of dollars worth of Ethereum money that was deposited with Tornado Cash. According to the lawsuit, the government lacks the jurisdiction to punish Tornado Cash since the move infringes on the First Amendment rights to free expression and property of all Americans. The right law-abiding Americans to conduct financial transactions freely and confidentially is threatened, according to the 20-page lawsuit submitted to the Texas federal court. In a statement addressing the situation, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong noted that the lawsuit has asked the court to remove Tornado Cash from the U.S. sanctions list. Sanctions were put in place on Tornado Cash by the U.S. Treasury Department because it is a well-liked mixing tool that can hide cryptocurrency transactions. According to the official announcement, the gadget has been particularly utilized to siphon off millions of dollars worth of money by money launderers and other criminal elements, including the North Korean hacking outfit Lazarus. The industry is anxiously awaiting the verdict because it may determine how open source software or decentralized computing will develop in the future and how much control the government will have over them. Decentralization is the foundation of Bitcoin and blockchain technology. Therefore, the decision might have a significant impact on the sector for years to come. SocialFi Internet's next big thing? The newest product from Web 3.0's portfolio, SocialFi, aims to infiltrate the existing order. SocialFi, which stands for social finance, may be denied as a combination of social media and decentralized finance, or DeFi. SocialFi is a platform built on the principles of Web 3.0, offers the chance to create, manage, and control the material produced on social media platforms. Participants now have more privacy control and a variety of methods to monetize their following and content. In other words, SocialFi bypasses the problem and gives control to the people. Each time you use a social networking platform, they force you to agree to their terms and conditions, many of which aim to gather personal information about your interests, health, browsing history, etc. If you didn't know, TikTok even records your voices and faces using biometrics for unidentified purposes. There appears to be an interest misalignment. The current decentralized platform model of SocialFi aims to address these problems by giving users far more control over their data. Data will need to be stored across a network of web nodes rather than on a single central server. Consequently, the dangers of a breach and a single point of failure are reduced. Additionally, SocialFi opens you a brand new realm of financial independence. First of all, there are incentives for web nodes to save data. And secondly, influencers have many opportunities to monetize their content. Even though the market is still in its infancy, certain platforms have already begun to draw notice, including Torum, Diamond, and Aether, a Reddit alternative. To power the economy, these applications typically employ social tokens. Through these in-app social tokens, influencers have the opportunity to control their economy on the site. For example, they may design their own utility coin to support a small economy. The rights provided to token holders, as determined by the influencer, allow them to interact with the influencer's material. The token's worth rises as the influencer's social impact does too, and vice versa. Consequently, fans have a chance to grow with their preferred influencer. Freedom of expression is still a problem with established platforms. Although free speech is frequently exploited inappropriately online, centralized platforms are frequently criticized harshly for the way they handle hate speech. Considering that SocialFi won't be subject to pressure from higher authorities like state governments, it can liberalize the whole ecosystem. That's a wrap for this video. Let us know in the comments below if you think that Coinbase will score a win for decentralization in its case against the Treasury. If you enjoyed this video, give this a big thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like these. See you next time!